Jake's hands trembled as he stared at his phone, the screenshot from his friends burning into his retinas. There she was again, Emma, his girlfriend of years, on Bumble's dating mode. The same betrayal that had nearly destroyed him months ago, happening all over again despite her tearful promises. At 27, Jake had poured his soul into loving someone who seemed determined to destroy herself and everyone around her. Emma battled demons he could barely comprehend, crippling panic attacks that left her gasping for air, anxiety so severe it warped her reality, and emotional wounds from a past she couldn't escape. She had no friends, no support system beyond Jake and her mother. In many ways, he had become her entire world, her only lifeline in an ocean of mental anguish. Jake had tried to be her anchor. When Emma begged to use Bumble BFF to find friends, his stomach twisted with unease. But he agreed. She needed connections beyond him. The betrayal came swift and brutal. She'd switched to dating mode, scrolling through potential matches while he slept beside her, trusting and unaware. Her apology had been desperate, pathetic, accompanied by promises that cut through him like glass. Never again, I swear. You're all I want. He'd forgiven her because he loved her. Because he believed people could change. Because the broken woman sobbing in his arms seemed genuinely remorseful. The months that followed were a psychological minefield. Emma began talking about having babies, about their future together, while simultaneously questioning his every move with paranoid intensity. She demanded medical tests, accused him of hiding a secret vasectomy, convinced herself he was cheating based on advice from Reddit strangers who fed her delusions. Jake watched helplessly as the woman he loved spiraled deeper into madness, taking him down with her. The second betrayal felt like a dagger to his already wounded heart. His friends had spotted Emma on Bumble again, her profile active in dating mode, seeking new connections while planning their supposed future together. The screenshots they showed him were undeniable proof of her lies. Confronting Emma was like watching someone drown in real time. She sobbed hysterically, claiming it was only for 2 seconds, that it meant nothing, that her mind was playing tricks on her. But Jake had learned that love without trust was just elaborate self-torture. He'd drawn a clear boundary months ago, and she'd obliterated it without hesitation. "We're done," he said, the words tasting like poison in his mouth. Emma's reaction was volcanic. She destroyed his belongings in a rage-fueled rampage. His computer mouse shattered against the wall, keyboard keys scattered like confetti, perfume bottles exploded in aromatic destruction. Glass crunched under her feet as she demolished everything within reach, her screams echoing through the apartment like those of a wounded animal. Then came the manipulation disguised as desperation. Emma collapsed, begging, promising, claiming Reddit had messed with her mind, that Jake was her only love, her only future. The same promises she'd broken before, now weaponized against his compassion. Hours later, the ambulance sirens wailed through the night. Emma had told her mother she wanted to hurt herself, that living without Jake was unbearable. The psychiatric hold was immediate. 3 days and counting in a mental health facility, with Emma reportedly making plans for when she'd be released. Jake sat in his destroyed apartment, surrounded by the physical remnants of their toxic love, drowning in guilt that felt heavier than concrete. Emma's mother called with updates that shredded his remaining sanity. Emma couldn't stop crying, kept repeating that she'd ruined everything, spoke of wanting to die, of having nothing left to live for. The isolation was complete now. Emma would likely lose her job due to the hospitalization. She had no friends to support her through this crisis. Her mental health was deteriorating rapidly, and Jake couldn't shake the terrifying possibility that her threats might become reality. Everyone around him whispered the same diagnosis: manipulation. They insisted Emma was using suicide threats to control him, to force his return through emotional blackmail. But Jake knew the woman he'd loved for years, knew her genuine capacity for self-destruction when cornered by her own demons. The guilt was consuming him alive. Had he been too harsh? Should he have given her another chance? Was enforcing his boundary worth potentially driving someone to suicide? Yet beneath the guilt lay exhaustion. Years of being Emma's emotional life support, of walking on eggshells, of loving someone who seemed incapable of loving herself enough to change. Jake stared at his reflection in the cracked mirror Emma had shattered, seeing a man hollowed out by loving the wrong person too deeply. He'd given everything he had, and it still wasn't enough. Now Emma was alone in a psychiatric ward, and he was alone with the crushing weight of wondering if love meant staying or leaving. Have you ever had to choose between protecting yourself and protecting someone who might harm themselves? How do you handle loving someone whose mental health battles are destroying your relationship? Share your thoughts on where compassion ends and self-preservation begins.